slightly different, yeah, very different online game. I know you're a big fan of the Gears of War franchise. You haven't played the beta?
No. I watched some footage from the beta. Brad went and played it for us. So yeah, I did check it out. The competitive multiplayer is kind of like the least interesting thing about Gears to me at this point. So it's sort of like it's a beta, and I think it looks all right, but I want to see what they're doing with cooperative play. I want to see the campaign. I want to see the future Phoenix, and what he does.
Son of Phoenix,
all that stuff. Gears of War kind of just at some point turned into the rolling shotgun video game, and or maybe it kind of always was that, and it's not what I'm looking for out of competitive multiplayer. And it seems like they're, like Brad even said at the event that they kind of acknowledged that was the thing. And
it's called like gnashing, right? You're talking about that cover-based dashing around.
Like literally just rolling.
Just really rolling up behind someone and shooting them with a shotgun and they're dead. And you're like, well, that's not fun. So yeah, it's kind of just, it's that style of play. The style of play in higher level Gears play is not something I was looking to get into. It seems like their solution for it is to add better bots. And like, instead of like making the game friendlier to a wider array of people, it seemed like they were like, no, Gears is going to stay Gears, which is probably the right move. But you can always play against bots, which doesn't sound like a solution to me.
That's one of the 3 modes they have on this beta. I played maybe for about an hour this morning. You're up to like level 10.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing over the weekend and had issues with just servers. People weren't playing it.
All right, so that's gonna happen.
Well, I played a game and then I'd be like, oh, there's still a lot of people here, and then I realized, it's me. It's just me against bots.
Yeah,
that was frustrating, but. Yeah,
I mean, it's a closed press beta at the moment. It's opening up for people who bought Ultimate Edition in the next couple of days.
No, I actually misspoke. I told you that earlier.
Oh, it is already.
If you have bought an Ultimate Edition, supposedly you can play right now. It's in early access.
They're rolling out the keys apparently.
Yes.
So like some people have
May 25th, it's free open beta.
Hooray!
Yeah.
On Xbox One. So you're in the same boat as Jeff, right? Where you were like super into the single player in the series and weren't so much into the multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was just co-op, like my brother and I played all those. That's all it was. And this time around, starting off on the weekend was frustrating because it makes more sense that you're getting the spill of all the Ultimate Edition guys who are playing online heavily.
Yeah. Totally, yeah.
And they're just wrecking you.
Yep.
And eventually, as I got my placement level, I got into they basically said, well, you suck, so we're putting you in bronze.
It's like Rocket League all over again.
Yeah, and so then I'm getting, a couple quad kills, ooh, this is getting pretty fun. And it is all shotgun. And at its heart, it's just a bare bones beta experience. Like you're just getting these basic weapons. Like they only introduced one new weapon, which is
the drop shot, right?
Yeah.
It's like a half mine layer, half rocket launcher.
Yeah, it's like a grenade launcher with like no distance. It's all it feels like. Yeah.
But regardless, everyone's
kills fools.
Everyone's just running around with a shotgun because it's a power weapon map. You're going for the power weapons. Do you want to go for those all the time? Do you want to, be risky out
Risk
there?
reward.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the one thing I found actually about it, which was, I don't know, equal parts sort of like what I was looking for and also clearly wasn't what I really wanted, was that this feels so much like I'm just picking up Gears of War 3 or something.
Oh my God.
Well, if you think about the popularity of Gears and this is kind of one of the things you could look at, this is what esports is doing to games to a certain extent, is the rules are the rules, and you can't make football suddenly have 5 downs instead of 4. You can't necessarily take Gears of War and completely remove the shotgun. So it's popular enough with a crowd that want to play it at a high level competitively that you have to do right by them, no matter what that means for your larger audience.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe the push and pull of kind of competitive multiplayer where it's gone with it becoming more serious, is that you have more games that are more willing to kind of leave the wider player base out in the cold.
God, that seems so strange. I wonder if there will be a lot of people who, because I did not enjoy my time with this. It was once I figured out okay, distance you need to get a one-shot shotgun kill, and once I picked up a torque bow, and the first time I fired it I got someone in the head, and I was like, all right, this still works. I'm enjoying this, and I'm the melee stuff is fun, but then I was just so taken aback by how this feels just too close to before.
Yeah.
But maybe I did not play Ultimate Edition, so I don't know if this is very, very close to that. And also Ultimate Edition was like that.
Yeah.
So same framework or whatever.
Which those are the changes they made to Ultimate Edition over the original Gears 1, was they brought in multiplayer stuff from spotting and some of the other stuff that was in later Gears games. So Ultimate Edition, if you don't like competitive Gears, it's a real bummer.
Yeah. Is there a competitive Gears scene?
Yeah,
There's gotta be.
Yeah, absolutely.
This gnashing stuff again is just. It's like an exploit that I guess was always present in Gears, where you use the cover and you do this glitch move where you're just bouncing up and down a hallway. And I see that. I don't even know how to respond to it.
They're so fast at like getting around cover.
Yeah, it's
and
cheating the animation of sliding in.
And you know, like there was a chunk of time there, probably around Gears 2, that I was pretty good at competitive Gears for what it was at the time.
Gears 2 was great.
And I got to a point with it where I was like, I'm actually not really enjoying this. Like, you know, and so I fell away from it. But people kept on and kept getting better and better and better and better at slipping up behind you with that shotgun and making you blow up. And you're like, all right, this is actually frustrating when it happens to me. I also don't necessarily enjoy doing it to other people.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I love horde mode.
Right.
I hope that they do something good with a wave-based survival or something in Gears 4. And I'm interested in the story, but you know, this beta just kind of I look at it and go like, okay, they're doing what you fully expect them to do, and that's great for some segment of people. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what was frustrating, like last Friday when I got to get into it, was, you know, just putting down Division and moving into that.
Oh, sure.
Like, whoa, oh my God, control. You know, I got to use the D-pad to switch my weapon. Like the thing that got me the most frustrating was just the Brody run and having the camera shake so much. Like, it makes sense for a cinematic co-op, like level of play. But when the competitive nature of it was like, I can't see anyone, and then I have to slow down and do this really slow walk.
You're soft,
turn.
man. You just can't take Gears.
I can't.
Pure.
I can't.
The way it was made.
Yeah.
For the hardcore esport gamer. I'm kind of, I don't know. I think after playing this, I've realized that, I actually am maybe a bit more interested in what the single player has to offer. Like, maybe that is actually where, because I played a lot of like Gears 1, 2, and 3 online. Like, I love those games to pieces. But you're right. Like, one of the weird things about, I feel like so many shooters, is that they rarely ever change any of the fundamentals. But the one thing at least they do is try to introduce new like game modes. Right. They can like sort of add in supplemental ones, and they don't necessarily interfere with the purity of it. Yeah. And in this, they've added in
or burn cards.
Which
is this?
You're right. Yeah. They did actually do this.
But they at least it's toned down where it's just an experience boost.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like Doom where you get like a spot your last.
I hate that card so much.
Assassinate him or whatever it was. I don't know.
Basically punishes you for killing people. That one. Yeah. But they've also added in this like game mode, which is it's basically like I don't know. They called it dodgeball. Is that right?
But it's still like I feel like just a lengthening of play.
It's team deathmatch, but you know the rules by which people come back are different.
Yeah.
You know?
If you kill someone, you get a respawn back. You get to take it back. Yeah. That it does not work in Europe.
I bet not.
No, it was like you're saying like dodgeball, and I was like,
oh yeah, you have no idea. Of course,
like the movie, like
yes, exactly like the movie. Cotton.
Okay,
that's a middle school gym like requirement.
If you can dodge,
if you knock somebody out, you get one of your guys back in.
Okay,
that's why it's dodgeball,
right? Which just seems
which is not also not universal rules for all forms of dodgeball, by the way. So
let's chew it out.
It was one of those things where I kind of had to think about it and go like, well, that's never how I played dodgeball. But okay.
Oh, you hit them so hard that they could never come back.
No, they weren't coming back. There was no coming back.
So it just seems like that's like if that's the one mode you're adding in for the beta, it's like so piecemeal. Like they've literally just changed like one or two little things.
But, you know, but at some point they're actually probably running a beta.
Right. Okay.
A brand new Gears game.
Oh, a beta.
You know, they probably need to actually get some real telemetry. They need to get some proper data from the people playing it, make sure it all works.
Yeah.
So at some point, you say like, here, play the deathmatch mode in Gears a bunch, like you're going to do anyway, and we'll be able to make sure that this thing actually functions.
Yeah.
So I bet that there is that aspect to it, and they probably have like a cadence of marketing releases of where the actual new modes will come from and all that other stuff. So it's not too surprising that they would just take this beta and go like, look, you bought the one that was the remake of the thing. That was us getting our legs under us and making a Gears game for this new platform. Let's here play some deathmatch. I don't know.
I hope they also use the beta to make the graphics look a little bit better as well, because
some of that stuff's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Well, also like that was a weird one where we went to the event and Microsoft provided capture equipment.
Right.
and it captured at 30 frames a second.
Oh, you're kidding.
And you're like,
so one thing the game's got going for it.
This is your own gear. Like this is your own chance to
I'm glad you
make the game look as good as it possibly can, but you just pulled out whatever you had in the broom closet. Oh, there's some capture hardware. Like we own capture equipment that is capable of capturing better than, but because they provided it, we didn't bring our stuff. And
it was bad.
So it's just, you're just looking at it going like, mistakes were made.
I doubt it looks very good on the stream at all, just because it's in 30, and then also you got all that compression happening. But even
just looking at it bare, which I have not done, so I've only seen that footage of it. But it sounds like I've seen stills from it and just looked at it and go like, ugh. It's not quite like Perfect Dark Zero wall guys type stuff, but like some of that stuff looks pretty rough,
real muddy, which is a shame. I mean, it's hard to expect like the same sort of amazing graphical oomph that came with like the original Gears and Gears 2 then especially with like those games looked like that was like HD gaming's here.
And not to give them like 9 more outs, but at some point you are downloading a beta. They do have a good reason to try to keep the file size down for a beta because they're paying for all that bandwidth. So maybe they shipped low res textures. There's a bunch of different stuff that becomes a little harder to judge against a final game when we're looking at a beta.
And I always hate like talking about betas in these terms, but so much of betas, it seems now in the modern day, is about marketing. It is about getting people to play it early.
It's, hey, you bought this other game, and now guess what? You get to play this next one early. Yeah. Because otherwise, why would you have bought this kind of shoddy remake of Gears 1?
So, I mean, if it's something to get people excited, then none of us are particularly excited about, at least the multiplayer side of it.
Yeah, no, I really, for like the teaser trailer with Marcus Phoenix growing that tree, that probably did more for me
using that knife
than anything in this beta.
Running through that tree, that was
great. But yeah, so at least like coming out of all of this, if you take all of it together, I am back on board and interested in a Gears game, which is something I would not have said coming out of Judgment.
Okay, totally.
Judgment was lame.
The most also ran of also rans.
So at least they're on a track. I can look at this and go like, yeah, man, Gears 4, let's do it.
All right.
Let's see where this goes.
Looking forward to it. Coming out later this year. Thank you so much, Jeff, for coming on and talking about Gears 4. That's why we got you on here.
Exactly,
and thanks to everyone for watching. Let us know what you think of Gears of War 4, Gears of 4. Are you excited? Have you played the beta? Are you looking forward to getting into the beta? Let us know in the comment box below.